Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We are from Group 9 and we will present about our lessons. The lesson is community dynamics. Before that, I will introduce our group. The first is Muhammad Yusuf Effendy with student number 105 and Ananda Fitrianta Susilo with student number 113. Next. Introductions. Community structure changes through time as species abundance change, altering the network of interactions with change cascading through the community, short-term, example, seasonal or annual. Change in community structure represent response to environmental change that favors species or affect interaction strength. Longer term, X is successional. Change in community structure reflects change in habitat conditions and species turnover during community development on newly available or disrupted sites. Finally, change in community structure over evolutionary time reflect species response to long-term threats in environmental conditions. Short-term change in community structure. Community structure change over relatively short time periods. Short-term variations in community structure reflect interaction among species responding differentially to fluctuating abiotic conditions and species interactions. Fluctuating weather conditions, especially extreme weather events and disturbance, can cause substantial short-term change in community structure. Change in seasonal temperature or precipitation pattern can elicit differential responses among arthropod species. Walter et al. Found that arthropod community associated with creosote bush Lariatri dentata in South New Mexico showed distinct trends over an experimental gradient in water availability. Abundance of several species increased with water availability, whereas abundance of others declined, and some species showed non-linear or non-significant response. Multivariative analysis indicated significantly distinct community structure on plant experiencing different water treatment. Next. Successional change in community structure. Relatively predictable change in community structure occur over a period of decades to centuries as a result of community development on newly exposed or disrupted sites. The process of community development on disrupted or newly exposed sites is called ecological succession. Succession is exemplified by the sequential colonization and replacement of species on abundant cropland. Weekly annual to perennial grass to fork to sharp to shade intolerant tree and finally to shade tolerant tree stage. Succession or new substrates or following fire or other disturbance show a similar sequence of stage. Next. Then the pattern of succession is primary succession occurs on newly exposed substrates, for example, lava flows, glacial moraine, uplifted marine deposits, dunes, newly deposits which primary succession typically involves a long initial period of soil information and colonization by species requiring little substrate modification. Second is secondary succession occur on sites where the previous community was disturbed and is influenced by remnant substrates and surviving individual on locales.
Next is factor affecting of succession. Succession generally progress toward the community type characteristic of the biome within which it occurs. For example, toward deciduous forest within the deciduous forest biome, or toward chaparral within the chaparral biome. We flavor 3. However, succession can progress along various alternative pathways and reach alternative endpoints depending on variety of local abiotic and biotic factors. Substrate condition represent an abiotic factor that selects a distinct subset of the regional species pool determined by climate. Substrate condition affect the ability of organisms to settle, become established, and derive necessary resource. Some substrates restrict species as representation. For example, settling soil, dunes, and lava flows. Relatively few species can tolerate such unique substrate condition or the exposure resulting from limited vegetative buffer. Next is model of succession. The facilitation model was proposed by Clemens 119, who view communities as an entity that shows progressive or facilitated development similar to the autonomy of individual organisms. According to this model, also called relay holistic, successive states cause a progressive change in environmental conditions that facilitate their replacement by the subsequent states, and later successional species cannot appear under sufficient environmental modification by earlier states has occurred. For example, soil development or increased plant density during early stages make the environment less suitable for recruitment of additional early. Horn developed a model of forest succession as a tree-by-tree replacement by process using the number of saplings of various species growing under its canopy species. By ignoring species for which this is not a reasonable predictor of replacement, and correcting for expected longevity. This model assumes that knowing what species occupies a given position narrows the statistical range of expected future occupants, and that the probability of replacement depends only on the species occupying the position and does not change with time unless the occupant of the position changes. The model is not directly applicable to communities in which recurrent large-scale disturbances are the primary factor affecting vegetation dynamics. Now it's about the diversity versus stability. Calling original define stability as the ability of a community to withstand disturbance with a little change in structure, whereas resilience was the capacity of the community to recover following perturbation. Resistance and resilience are affected by regional species abundance and distribution and by resource availability. Resistance can be compromised by fragmentation, which increase in community exposure external factor. Fragmentation increases the proportion of trees exposed to high temperature and wind speeds, and thereby vulnerable to moisture stress or toppling. Fragmentation also interferes with the adapted abilities of species in the regional pool to recolonize disturbed sites. A number of community variables can be examined from the standpoint of the variability with respect to diversity. Among these are species composition and food web structure, Simpler communities in terms of spatial composition and food web structure often appear to be more stable than complex communities with respect to recovery from disturbance. Diversity may dampen the spread of insect or pathogen that could threaten some species, hence disrupt community structure. For example, the diversity of pines and hardwood in southern USA reduced growth and spread of southern pine beetle, Dendrotonus frontalis population. Maybe that's all from us. Thank you for attention. Bye.